During a time of prayer, I've come across some information and then prayed a bit more on it here and meditated, and then it was given to me. Something that we should have been, that needs to be done, but it's for a time as this, that this is revealed. On March 28th, at sunset, starts the year of Purim. That's Purim. Do not confuse this with a new moon laydown, which starts at sunset on the 27th of March. This is a very special year that when we follow its rules, Yeshua can and will turn things around and overturn all the plans and schemes and snares of our enemies. What has been held back in our life can be suddenly released. A greater release of the grace or empowerment of our Father will be seen when you keep this than at any other time that we've seen in our life, or even in the history of the assemblies of the Father since Yeshua or Jesus. Do you understand what that means? We're on the doorstep of being able to walk through a different door. The year of Purim is not all about things. It's about solutions, suddenlies, and protection. When our enemies sought evil and destruction, we will see our enemies harvest what they have sown upon themselves. Instead of it coming against those that are keeping this Purim, it will bounce back 10 to 100-fold on them, whatever they're attacking with. Or in other words, we will see the tables turn, and all of our enemies that we choose to turn over to Jesus at the start of the year of Purim can be dealt with suddenly during the year of Purim. Now, how many here remember Esther? About 4 people. Okay. Esther was put into a position for a time to save Israel. And what she proceeded to do, establish the Feast of Purim. But every so many years, that comes round where that you can use it against all your enemies. You'll not be broken. So what are your enemies? Debt's an enemy. Anybody know what debt is?
Yes.
Poverty, sickness, weakness, cancer, age-related feebleness. Maybe it's a lack of a job. That can be an enemy. Or maybe you got a job and there's no favor being shown at work. Or no favor among your co-workers. They're hostile to you. Maybe you have hearing blockages. Maybe it's a prayer blockage, where malcontentment keeps blocking your ability to pray and study. Or it could be the enemy has become a need where you need more knowledge and you can't get it. It doesn't sink in with, doesn't stay with you. It can be you need more wisdom, more understanding, more discernment, maybe even more forgiveness. Because you could be held back because you're not forgiving. And it's an enemy. The spirit of unforgiveness is a strong enemy. It could be that you need more love in your life. Ability to love others. Or more mercy, where you can sow mercy into other people's lives. You may be suffering with a critical spirit. Maybe you have a point where you don't have a thirst for the truth anymore, and that's an enemy. Because you're saying, I'd rather get deceived. I don't want to study the Word. I don't want to find out what God wants me to know. That's an enemy that's talking to you. And even, are we still hungering and thirst for more of Jesus? Or we figure we got too much now? You see, if you're bored coming to His commanded assembly, you're saying, I don't want any more of Jesus. I don't need any more of Jesus. You're listening to an enemy. One that wants to cripple you. So, these are just some. There's hundreds of them more. But they're enemies that you turn over, and as you turn those over, that which is missing, that which attacks, that which has brought shame or guilt or loss into your life, can be broken. It could even be a bad sin you've been fighting with for years. It can be broken. Pride can be broken in this year. All enemies that attack you can be broken in Purim. And it's time to start making your list now. Because before the night of celebration, it has to be turned over to Jesus. Yes. So, to prepare for this night, to prepare for this year, is that you have to make out your list. You won't, if you're fighting an enemy, he will stop you from remembering the things if you haven't written it down to turn it over. He wants to keep control of you. But if you have it written down, and so you can remember it and go through it, guess what will happen? You get rid of them, and your memory will improve. The second point is the join in a congregation-wide fast or Benjamin-like fast. And you can fast up to 3 days on this one. So, as the congregation and assembly of the Father's love, we hereby declare March 21st to 27th days of fasting, but not the Sabbath itself. Okay? Any day or any 3 days during that time to come in union as an assembly of God, assembly of our Father. 3 is to turn over and lay down your enemies in detail on the new moon, which starts, as I understand it, starts Monday night, I think, on the 27th. I have to check it out, but I think that's when it starts this year. Then it becomes a commanded assembly on the evening of March the 28th, the start of the year of Purim. Now, it's a time to celebrate when we come together. It's a time for declaring the hand and turning the hands that were against you back on themselves. It's kind of a difficult concept to get through, but you're turning the tables. You're turning, when somebody's raised their hand against you, their hand suddenly becomes raised against them. Okay? They do themselves injury. They incapacitate themselves. Was it Haim or what was that guy?
Haman.
Haman, yes, Haman. He built the gallows. And because of Purim, those gallows that he had built to kill were turned against Mordecai and his family, were turned against him and his sons and their wives were all hung.
10 sons, yeah.
10 sons got hung. Something that I'm sure to this day he regrets. But
He was alive, he would.
when they raise their hand against you, it's turned back on them. And it requires an honest celebration in this day where you release it. Okay? But you celebrate also in the grace of victory. That you've been given the grace of victory. That's part of what that celebration is about for that night. And in Jesus and his kingdom, you celebrate. And 5, you stay in thankfulness that Jesus has crushed your enemies. Not you, Jesus has crushed your enemies. So with this, we bless you for a great year of Purim. In Jesus' name.